but they're joined. They have no having 27 children. Jesus Christ, it didn't stop them from life. Same with these twins that have the same bodies. Okay, meaning the energy there goes down to one piece. I don't know who has the bottom half, but the spirit of one person is only to the rib cage, so be it. So we have the three faces of Eve. I don't think it's three separate people. I think it's three separate entities. One person comes forward at a time. Is that making sense to you?
Mm-hmm. Believe me, I know how that works.
So I don't know what the trigger is for you allowing, because we have to allow. I don't know that they can automatically. It must be something you're tired, you get stressed. Something will allow you to close that door to you so that you can open the door to somebody else. And I think in time those people have come and they'll come forward. It's like a memory. I don't believe all memories are in our body of the past. There's a wonderful tape, Same Vertical Horizontal World, I gave at East West Bookstore. And what it implied is that when we have a terrible breakup, like a relationship, all of us women do that, right? And we can go back to that relationship and agonize over the moments of breaking up, teary-eyed and everything. We're not reliving it here. We enter time to there. And those experiences, and that, have you ever been in a bad car accident? You were in a car accident?
Yeah, but not that one.
Okay, the car accident, go back to the car accident. You can almost sit in that car and have it happen to you all over again. It's like everything slows down. It's like you can go in that accident all over again. You're not remembering it, you're traveling in time because you can recreate the entire feeling of it. That's not necessarily memory, that's living it over again. And when I think we get so tired of reliving our life over and over, that's what exhausts us. That's what makes me tired reading all you people. I enter you, go in your time, but leave me scattered throughout universes. That's why you people feel so good after talking to me, because you got a little boost of Nancy in there. Got it? And so that made me think that if I get tired entering you, you must get tired entering you too. And so when we sit around and boo-hoo all day, and then Dave will go, well, I didn't do anything but reminisce about my past, I'm exhausted. You should be. You spent most of the day somewhere else. Okay, that makes sense to you too? Makes sense. Same with love relationships or being happy. You go back to a happy moment, you may get tired of it, but it rejuvenates you because it's the opposite. It doesn't drain you, it enlightens you. So I tell people, if you're going to go back in time and travel in time, go back to a happy moment. Not having a baby, I think that's a happy moment, but man, that's a tired one. Okay? Well, I spent a lot of time with you, Brenda, but I had fun with you. Oh, there's the boss. Wow, the man has a suit on. Geez, Meneses.
How about that? Yeah. Great.
Well, we're just sitting here, just visiting.
I still wonder about the redhead behind
There's
you.
a man who's very tall and gangly. He made me think that at the end of his life he lost weight, and he shows me a little forward and a little sunken, so that his body curved like this. And it makes me think he had some reddish in his hair. Who's that I'm talking about?
It's Ron and Stephen's dad.
Who's?
My husband's father.
Father. He stands right behind your left shoulder. And he's looking down on you. Did you like the man?
Yes.
Well, he's in spirit watching over you. Probably wondering what in the world you're doing. He doesn't see all these people around you. Thank you very much. He says he misses mashed potatoes. Did he like mashed potatoes?
Probably didn't have very many teeth left.
I just got the sense of a lot of mashed potatoes.
Oh.
That sounds very good. What was his name?
I don't know. Should I say Edis or should I say Walter? Edis?
Walter.
Walter?
Oh, he just beamed. So you did call his name. That was him. Okay. He says his mother's with him.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Shows me a little tiny woman all shriveled up, little tiny shoulders. Do you remember that was her?
I never knew her.
So this is your husband's father.
It's actually her husband's father too.
We're sister-in-laws.
Yeah.
Oh, geez, I'm sorry. Your
My husband
Husband's-
is her husband,
Brother.
brother.
ooh,
My
that's
brother.
tough. Okay, so this is your father-in-law's father-in-law. Do you remember how he died?
He had cancer.
Oh, that's probably why I got like I did then, huh?
Because he did shrivel up.
And he went in and then
Yes,
over.
he did.
So that would be a very unusual thing for me to be able to see, unless he was not standing right there. Okay, now, because you guys are related doesn't mean that he's not into you, but he is facing her. Facing her, so he's tending to you now. Oops.
Ha ha.
Is that good or bad?
That was good.
So did I.
So remember, in spirit, I had a lady tell me, she says, I don't want that person around. I go, well, I guess you can ask that person not to be part of your life. And because in life they didn't have a good relationship, but when we become spirit people, yes, there's characteristics that do go, but it's almost like you get a smart pill. We pass over more knowledge. I want to say our spirit knowledge comes forth, and we have an understanding why we went to flesh. I had a lady come, she usually comes to these, and she has long hair, and her name's Linda, and her sister was one that was a hiker, mountain climber, and she put a rope around her ankle and went back off the mountain, and it was not tied to anything, killed her. So that's like taking the wrong step, you know, like, geez, criminy. And she asked her sister, she said, why were you born and why was I born? And what I thought was real interesting, Karen stepped back and she says, when we choose who to be, we see the life this big. I went, really? I mean, my life has been, and it's been this big, right? She says, we see it and we are evaluating. We're told this life will experience this. And I says, that's big as a pillbox. What are you saying? And she says, if you could make a one simple sentence of your life, what would it be? I went, chihuahua. I make up words all the time. And so if I said, when you're 99 years old and you look on your life, and remember, it's pretty turbulent. Have you had children in this lifetime? Mm-hmm. Okay, you had children, you're married, have you had death in the family, Papa, he passed away, you've had this medical condition, you're a working person, you've had a lot of life. How can we encapsulate it and put it into one sentence? What do you think the major overall lesson of this lifetime is? That's what they see. When I was 6 years old, my father got killed by a drunk driver. And I know this is on tape, but bless my mom, this is what happened. My father's mother and her then second, third, fourth husband came and told my mom. And she was sitting on the couch. She sat down on the couch. Her first words were not, oh my gosh, I love him. I can't believe he's gone. Her first words, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? I have no money. Click. I was only 6. It has crippled my entire life. I married for money, stayed in for money, got a good paying job at a telephone company for money. So God said, well, hit her with a brick. I wanted to live. So I left a good marriage. I got into this. I left a good job. Got it? So my test was to overcome the fear of money. Can I be happy without money? See, it's not like I'm doing without money. Because if you love something enough, the money will follow. But am I willing to risk and be happy with still the fear of money there? That would be my one simple sentence. Not that I had cancer, not that I went through divorce, not that I raised the kids and went through all that, what I did. That was terrible, but that isn't the simple statement of my life. Whoever my spirit person chose, whoever that person is in here, right? It's part of my personality. That spirit that joined me, made me live, made me not an animal anymore, picked this life after reviewing it and said, gee, she's interesting. She's going to learn this. I want this. This sentence, this big, is all they needed to know to join us. What do you think your simple statement of your life is, Richard? Now that you look back and you've had a life full of marriages and women and family and...
Well, pretty much,
What do you think the simple sentence, your spirit joined you, and they look at our lives as very quick. They look at it as experience. What would you think was your simple statement for this life? If you could put your life into one sentence thing.
loneliness.
Huh?
Lonesome.
You're going to experience lonesome in this lifetime.
I have, yeah, very much.
And were you able to overcome it? I don't know. I was married 21 years and I was lonesome. Okay, that's why I got divorced. I've been single for 14 years. That's
11
lonesome.
years, now, that wasn't lonesome.
Huh?
So I was married for 11 years, and that wasn't lonesome.
Okay, so you really were not lonesome. You were waiting. So between life marriages, you are waiting for someone. And so the wait wasn't necessarily lonesome because both of you had to be ready at the same time. What you experienced was happiness for 11 years. So if I again want to ask you, what do you think the statement of your life is? Because I don't think the word lonesome is it. Cherish every moment.
Yes.
Because we don't look on the lonesome, we look on the value of when we have. I think you were lonely, but I think your marriage was very, very good for 11 years.
That was
And I think we can live on the
best I
memory.
had in this life.
Best you had in this life. Now remember, when you were a spirit person, Richard, you looked at that life and you said, Richard has an interesting life. Okay? And I want that life because. And it could be for just be married to that one woman for 11 years. See what I'm saying? And will you value it because it's only going to be 11 years? Maybe that's all it was. Okay? Tony, what about you?
Well, I want to go back to Walter standing behind us.
Yeah,
I have a question for him.
yeah.
What does he think of his wife's weight at this point?
Walter's wife's, and who's his
Her
wife? What's his wife's name?
Pauline.
These tapes, there are audio tapes if you girls want one. I'm not getting a real good answer. I don't know what it means. Was she larger, now she's slim again? It's a reverse. She's slim now she's large again. I didn't get a very good answer on that. So I'm not saying he's frustrated, but I didn't get a nice answer.
I wouldn't expect you to.
I think he liked her as before. And unfortunately, as women get older, we kind of, you know. His wife's name is, again?
Pauline.
Pauline.
Uh-huh.
And you said she's gained weight?
Oh, heck yeah.
Excuse me.
Sorry.
She's never going to see this tape, I promise. He says her weight has affected her heart, and he's worried for her. Do you have any idea what that's about?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so he worries that she's not being careful with herself. And she's not doing it on purpose, but she's not taking care of herself. Now, if he's in spirit, and he was your father-in-law, so he's senior, she must be senior. But I'm being shown or told that this is affecting her heart. I don't know, God doesn't let me see exact times people last, but I don't think she has 5 years. Not even 5 years. Feels like there's an event coming 2 to 3 years down the way that may be very serious for her.
I don't
What?
like that answer either.
Remember, you can tell her that. We could do something about it, but he tells me he's concerned for her heart. Do you know if she has a heart condition?
I believe so. She's got high cholesterol.
Okay, that probably is probably what I'm talking about. Question. Okay, let's go back to you. There you are. Tony, you're looking. There's that little piece. You're a spirit person. Look at this one down here.
I think I'm just searching, and I just can't seem to find it.
Searching for what? The one statement for your life?
Mm-hmm.
Are you very domestic?
No.
Do you like arts and crafts or
Yes.
cutsy fun things? It almost feels like I'm getting that putsy. Excuse me for the word putsy. I love that word. I made it all up by myself. If I said, it almost feels like arts and crafts has been a theme in your life of fun and joy. So I want to say enjoy the little thing. I've never was into any like that. You know, women can get into stuff and do stuff for craft fairs and all that. Yeah, no, I never was into that, but I get a lot of joy from you on that. If I go over your life, have you always been involved with it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Did you inherit this gift, and were you involved with a grandmother who taught you how to do this?
My grandmother did.
Okay, that's what I'm getting, is love grandma, enjoy grandma, and get into the simple things of making happy. So that could be, now that's a light statement. Remember, I'm looking at you right now. So it's kind of interesting. It has nothing to do with the kids, has nothing to do with marriage, has nothing to do with the job. But as a capsulated form of your whole life, love grandma, learn from grandma, and enjoy grandma, and just do the putsy little things that grandma taught you. That's a pretty big statement.
Mm-hmm.
my memories of my grandmother, she taught me how to crochet. Is that when the little tiny hook? Is that little tiny hook? And I remember, is that what you have on? Is that called crochet or knitting?
That's crochet.
Same.
That's crochet.
Crochet.
My daughter learned crochet, and I look at her, and I wish I had taught it to her. Because when my grandmother taught me that, it gave me a lot of joy. But I have a hard time sitting down doing it. So my daughter can sit down for hours on end and do it. But I think that the word simple love comes from this. And so when you do these crafty things, simple love is brought forward. It's almost like, you know, when you have a I make an example. The other day I came across a bag that belonged to my ex-husband when he delivered newspapers when he was a child in San Luis Obispo. So he put the coins in there. It was a thick canvas material bag, has a zipper on the top. I know when I give that to my ex-husband, it's going to give him joy, because it gets within it all the most wonderful memories of the past. Okay, I call that simple joy. Okay, so I think at times we need to learn how to live in simple joy. I just got myself a little angel. I put it on the tabletop. Where was I? Old Sacramento. Walk around, there's this little tiny angel, red hair, of course, and the word joy was on it. And it means the most simple of life can be the most joyous, and we need to embrace that. Spirit people tell me, and that has nothing to do with this one simple statement for our life, but this is interesting that I found that with Tony. The one simple statement has to also be, Spirit people say to me, your body is living, but are you alive? And I went, I think I am, because I really take every second of life all the time. And someone's thinking of me, excuse me. Clink. If my pager goes off, where is it? I wonder, I have someone meeting me here. But anyway, Ollie? Ken? Okay. Meaning that while we're alive, our bodies are alive, we're not really living. And the purpose of being alive in our bodies is to live every moment and acknowledge it and be in joy of it. Because spirit people don't always have a chance to be in a flesh body. And so if you have a chance to be in a flesh body, that's the greatest joy of all, is to be alive. And people say, well, I don't want to be alive, I don't want to live. And I said, gee, Merry Christmas. And they say, well, why would you want to come back, Nancy? And frankly, between you and me, I want to come back for another cup of coffee. Not only do I want to kiss grandbabies, you know, the children. I'm past the rare among children now, so I'm looking forward to 2 more grandchildren that have yet to show up. You know, I'm hoping any time now. But I tell my son, I see you having 2 children, and I'm grieving a little because he lives in San Diego. He's flying up tonight, and I'm going to be full of kisses in around 2 hours. But that's why we want to be alive, is be able to kiss babies and drink coffee and whatever it is we want to do. Okay? So it's interesting with Tony, I got that what I call it? Simple pleasure, joy. So when you do these craft things, you got it from a grandmother, said, I felt you doing something. I said, show me something that's overall. And I got arts and crafts or something. And then I said, I get a grandmother vibration attached to it. See how I backed up in time. So that connection, when you do that, gives you like a shot in the arm of joy. How fun is that? Are you working, lady? You work? You have changes at work. I think I told you that before, didn't I?
Uh-huh.
Has that happened
And
yet?
I want them now.
Has it happened yet?
No.
Do you put in for it?
No.
The energy's there. So before February, March, I want you to start watching and put in for it, because you can have it, okay, whatever I'm talking about. It feels like you work in a really big place, and it's right almost within visual of you, or around the corner. It feels like it's right around you that you can have this better job, okay? It's like, almost like I want to say, not necessarily do you want it, but it's going to be there. And you're comfortable where you are, but you need to stretch and have more. So you need to have this better job. Make sense?
Makes sense.
Okay. Either one of you, did I answer your questions, Brenda?
I have one question.
And ask me a question.
The reading you gave me the other day,
Yeah.
you said something about, I have an angel and...
We all do.
And you told me her name. might be Claire.
Oh, a K sound.
Yeah, and you said maybe Claire. And then you said that I had a grandmother with as the sound.
Mhm.
Well, I have no grandmothers, great-grandmothers, or whatever with the sound,
C sound.
but there is a grandmother on my husband's side that's Claire.
Oh, for heaven's sake. So it could be her.
It's actually Walter's mother.
Oh, how interesting that is. Well, it still is connected as far as I'm concerned. It's still a grandmother. Remember, in spirit, we're all another visual for you people. If you visualize a tree going up, and it has a big trunk, and it has all these branches, all up to the top, your community is a branch. Okay, so that would be the family married into. And on that branch are other little twigs that go out with five leaves. And so the first branch can represent all the people you met in school. The second branch is all the people you met in your family. The third branch would be the people you met at work. But they're all part of this lifetime. Okay? And so Claire, Walter's mother, could be a spirit guide to you because you're part of the same grouping. Edgar Cayce believes we incarnate with the same groups of people over and over again. Does that make sense?
I think so.
Okay, so we have within our realm, so if it's interesting, I never come up with words. I mean, names. It's like, boy, if that's so, then wow. There's no way for me to know your family at all. So she may be very attuned into what you're about and be an angel for you. Did you like the lady? Did you know
I
her?
didn't know.
Doesn't matter. You might have known her in spirit many lifetimes prior to this one. If the Buddhists and the 7 major religions of the world, 2 of them don't believe in reincarnation, Christianity being one of them, at least up to this point. We had 355 AD, Constantinople. We had all references to reincarnation taken out of the Bible. And subsequent to that, we are now allowed to believe in reincarnation. Makes me believe, makes me wonder if something's not going on, right? Because if all the major religions of the world are not connected, yet they have the same belief structure, something's going on.
Well, the early Catholics had it.
The early Catholics did. Also, the reference to wings didn't come until artists started drawing people. They want to represent as angels. Angels fly. So we had wings put on people. The auras that you see about the Christ figure and all the more important saints of the world is because the people who could see them saw their energy. If a spirit person showed itself of high vibration, for them to be in our realm, they would break into the dimensions and they would show up with an aura. It's not necessarily that the aura is godlike as much as dimensional. See, the higher the level of the being, the higher the vibrational orb around them. Okay? And so, to an artist of 500 to 300 years after the Christ figure left, we always show them with an aura around it. We thought it was saintly or godlike. What it is they vibrate at such a high resonation because they're not as pure but so evolved that that energy force shows an aura when they break and show the energy to us, personage to us. That makes sense? So I find that interesting. That may not remember her in this lifetime, but you might have had many with her. She seems like a nice lady. Don't know. Energy's nice. Tony, you have a question for me?
Yeah, I have a good friend of mine lost her mother about 2 weeks ago.
Ooh, your girlfriend's name,
Suzette.
Suzette, and her mom's name, do you remember?
Fran.
Fran. Boy, she walked through her death pretty good. She died of disease or what?
Yeah, basically.
What's that mean? She hoped.
She's been ill for a very long time. And
I think she wanted out of her body.
exactly.
And I think she was able to walk right through it. Walk through her death. Whew, I'm out of here. She kind of made me think of a no-nonsense, no-get-in-your-face kind of a woman. And when she finally got out of her body, she was very happy about it. So I don't know that she took a lot of time of recovery. I think she's been out in her body and having a good time. Okay? Okay. Another question?
Does she have any words of wisdom for me in helping her daughter through this transition?
She says her daughter's just going to get stuck. Her daughter is wanting to grieve over it because it's given her something to do. But in her heart, her daughter knows that it's best for her not to, it was best for her not to be alive anymore. and let her mom go. Let her mom be okay with that. Okay? So the daughter is missing her and grieving for herself. This is not wrong. When we grieve for someone who's died, it makes us next in line. Okay? And then it's also forcing us to look at our own mortality. So your friend is feeling real unhappy about this. She's lost her mom. So we grieve over that. But at the same time, I don't think her mother wanted her body anymore. And that I'm going to say is good. She got out of it. All right? It feels really good. All righty? Richard, what can I do for you tonight? What kind of things?
Well, I want to ask you a question. The woman you saw before me,
Mm-hmm. She showed up yet? Not yet.
was she Oriental?
Oh. Oriental peoples do go gray. Oriental do go gray hair. So it's very possible she could be. I wouldn't know. You know, ethnicity, an Oriental can have light skin and white hair. There's no way for me to know. Did you meet somebody who's Oriental?
Well, the woman I asked you about several times,
Has to be someone you want.
she's
She's Oriental.
Oriental, yeah.
Yeah.
She's not born in Japan. She's born in this country, she said.
That's okay. I wouldn't know if she is or not. I know that the woman I
Asked her
see...
yesterday if she's from Japan, or she's Japanese, from Japan. Says she's born in America.
Mm-hmm. I still see this woman around you, and
You had some telltale signs for her.
Mm-hmm. And so have you met her yet? You think it's this woman?
Said, high-heeled shoes or something.
I don't remember that, but I remember her not being a thin, skinny little thing. She's a little round here. She's got really pretty, smooth skin. She's very light. So she's complected like you are. And she's got light hair, and she does take care of her hair. It's not just smooth, and it's not flat back. I see curls. So she takes care of herself.
No, she's straight,
That's not what I'm seeing.
fairly straight.
Mm-mm. So you may have this lady in your life until the one I see showing up. The one I see showing up has short hair like Brenda's that's curled on the top. It looks short here.
We're not too close together. With only lower by sight.
Mm-hmm.
Not too.
The one I see around you that you're going to like is a talkative lady, and she likes to talk. And she has hair like Brenda's that comes on the side, and then she curls the top, and she's very light skin, and it's very smooth, and she's so pleasant. She's a very nice lady, and she wears little heels.
That's quite different from what Mei Jean is like.
I didn't say it was Mei Jean.
It's,
You're wanting it to be.
no,
So
it's different from her.
right, right. So Mei Jean may be part of your life until the woman I see will show up. Okay? Because I still see the same lady and she hasn't shown up. I see her standing talking to you. And she's very pleasant, very nice, and she does like you. And I feel like that's important. Okay, anything else? Talk to me.
You see anything of my wife? Patsy?
What, Patsy?